apologize, y'all. I really apologize for this, y'all, because noise is way, way too much. Noise is way too goddamn much. I gotta get this. I gotta get this going because I have to apologize for the kids need to quit that roughhouse, man. That's what causes my live stream to fuck up. That fuck my live stream up. My live stream's already been fucked up as it is. Can't do it with all this bullshit happening. It's gonna work. I had to go restart this thing here. The final chapter of the legacy of William Billy Bass Nelson Jr. Here. We're gonna go into the into this stuff here. I'm gonna I'm glad to tell y'all what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna deep dive right into the album discography and we'll get the story ready. This one is without the song uh I got a thing, you got a thing, everybody's got a thing. Yeah, everybody's got a thing. So I don't even know. They already got potential earnings throwing it at in my video, so ain't nothing else I can do. So they already added a song that Nelson had did with Funkadelic in 1970. But yeah, 2025 remaster of a song of I got a thing, you got a thing, everybody's got a thing. Uh, it's from a 2025 remastered version of uh of Funkadelic's uh self-titled debut album back in the 1970s. But I gotta go. I gotta go dig right into. I gotta dig right into the discography before I had to get this. Before I had to go get this thing going. See, we got Funkadelic. We got Funkadelic. You got the let's see. See, we got a self-titled debut album, Funkadelic, from 1970 here. Free Your Mind and Your Ass Will, yeah, Free Your Mind and Your Ass Will Follow. You got Maggot's Brain, you know what I'm saying? You got America Eats Its Young here. You got Cosmic Slop here. Standing on the verge of getting it on. That's already out. Let's take it to the stage here. Tales of Kid Funkadelic, Hardcore Jollies here, One Nation Under a Groove here, uh, Uncle Jam Wants You, Connections and Disconnections. Let me see if I can read this stuff. Let me see if I can go read this stuff here. Because you got connections and disconnections here. You got the electric spanking of war babies, electric spanking of war babies here. Uh, by the way of the drum and first, yeah, got to shake the gate. First, yeah, got to shake the gate. That was the album that came out. It's the last album. It's just a bunch of album work. So we gotta stop stumping on shit, bro. Okay, we got a story on this man here. Yeah, this man's been born and raised in Plainfield, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Him and a few other people like Gary Scheider and Cordell Masoon, they were all they were all lived in Plainfield, New Jersey. They were all raised and taught by the same people and listen to the same music. So we'll take you straight to the guy who was a bass guitar player for the group Funkadelic, Mr. William Billy Bass Nelson Jr. This man was an American musician who was the original bassist for Funkadelic. He is a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he was like inducted in 1997 with 15 other members of Parliament Funkadelic. We get you to the life and career here. Uh, William Nelson Jr. was born in Plainfield, New Jersey on January the 28th, 1951. As a teenager, he worked at George Clinton's barber shop, sweeping the floor and singing and dancing for the customers. Clinton was a member of the doo-wop vocal group The Parliaments, who scored a nationwide hit in 1967 with the song I Wanna Testify. Clinton put together a backing band as a musical support for a tour and recruited Nelson, who in turn recommended his friend Eddie Hazel. Nelson and Hazel eventually took on bass and lead guitar roles respectively. The backing band was originally unnamed, but Nelson later coined the name Funkadelic to reflect the style funk and connect it with the then burgeoning psychedelic music scene. By 1970, Funkadelic was a full band consisting of Nelson, Hazel, drummer Tiki Fullwood, guitarist Lucius Tall Ross, and keyboardist Mickey Atkins, who was later replaced by Bernie Worrell. Since 1967, the band has been billed as musical backing for the Parliaments due to legal problems. In the early 1970s, Clinton had temporarily lost the rights to the name, the Parliaments, and instead signed the entire ensemble to Westbound Records under the name of Funkadelic. Nelson was a prominent contributor to the first three Funkadelic albums like Funkadelic, Free Your Mind and Your Ass Will Follow, and Maggot Brain. Let's see, I gotta get to work on this thing because I gotta think of something. See, one thing happened with Nelson. Uh, Nelson left the group. Yeah, Nelson left the group. He was about to be gone after the albums. Nelson left the group in late 1971 after a financial dispute with George Clinton, making it was making Nelson the first Parliament Funkadelic member to defect over such concerns, foreshadowing a major problem that would haunt Clinton in the late 1970s. Nelson and Hazel next performed with the Temptations. Nelson had rejoined Funkadelic briefly in the studio in 1975, playing on the track "Better by the Pound" on the Funkadelic album "Let's Take It to the Stage." Nelson later played with the Commodores, chairman of the board, Fishbone, Jermaine Jackson, Paulette, Lionel Richie, Smokey Robinson, and Lenny Williams, to name a few. This is what we're going. This is what we're going here. In the 1990s, Nelson enjoyed a surge by name checking by such legendary bassists as John Norwood Fisher and Michael Balsari, who had to be known as Flea. While his early funkadelic work was being sampled often by hip hop artists, joining with some other P-Funk alumni in 1994. Nelson released the album Out of the Dark under the name OG Funk. But after 1994, he served in various touring lineups of Parliament Funkadelic. He also toured with the P-Funk spin-off acts, the 420 Funk Mob, 420 Funk Mob, and the Sons of Funk. Man, he already toured these guys, man. He kicked that door quick. Let me explain to you about Nelson. Nelson had kicked the door down quick by playing that guitar, but he ain't about to give up on that yet. So goes back to the untold stuff about how shit shit. There's stuff about how there's some untold stories about how George Clinton had been paying all those members in drugs and things like that. You got mentions of what happened with Bigfoot, and he started saying that his signature was forged and things like that. That was according to him. He was under the pressure that he had to go. He had to go sell some drugs. He had to go sell some drugs just to go make a living. All of a sudden, guess what George Clinton would do? He shut down that hustle that Bigfoot was trying to do, and and not letting him find out about it. But yeah, he shut that down, and it says this. It says the sign that says no drug dealing unless authorized by George. But according to Robert Mittelman, who was the manager of Parliament Funkadelic, he said that no, nobody else wanted to be a dealer on that tour. So he said this in the documentary. So up tear the roof off. So the story was already been true. The last time that George tried to pull that shit on Billy, and Billy was about to go pull out a pistol and shoot his ass, man. Almost about to. See, see, guitar player, or GP of short, described Nelson as the Wynton Marsalis of funk, an opinionated player with the strong views about what is and isn't genuinely funky. Nelson Nelson pointed to a song like "You and Your Folks," "Me and My Folks" from Maggot's Brain for an archetypal funk tempo that he mused in this. He said that like the words like funk funk is meant to be played at a very specific, yeah, that's what his words. When we phrased here, he said that in a verbatim, like he said that funk is meant to be played at a very specific tempo. A lot of groups play it all too fast. If you want to play that raw, serious funk, you have to slow it down. Until until that fateful day on January the 26th, 2026. Yes, on January the 26th, 2026, let alone this year. George Clinton said that Nelson had died while receiving hospice care. That was a lie, but his family denied this. But it was the truth though. Yeah, they decided to fix that the date immediately. However, Nelson died on January the 31st, 2026, 3 days after his 75th birthday. In a tribute article shortly after his death, Ultimate Guitar said that Nelson's contribution to funk and rock music remains very significant, to say the least. They got all those references that came from these people here. All this stuff came from some of this stuff came from previous February, previous February about Nelson's untimely death. See, and there's some updates about him being in the care of hospice. There's mentions about how there's mentions about him. There's mentions about the legacy of Parliament Funkadelic. There's mentions about about the bio and history. You know what I'm saying? About Funkadelic. There's mentions about how most people don't even know this bassist, but he changed funk music, named Funkadelic, and he learned from a guy named James Jamerson. I'm like, who is James Jamerson? It's all just a bunch of references that I was already been thrown into the wall to read. That made no sense. All right, we're all doing this just for the sake of of the uh, of the video here. No worries. No worries. They already added the song that I just played before I did the my second part of the story. You know, it already has the song, so you know what to do at this minute. Sorry, Uncle James. Right. I was supposed to my class. All right. It's okay now. You gotta start fixing up something, man. Get that closet stuff redone, man. Or put the containers in that room or something. You can leave the containers in the hallway if you wanna leave it out there. But we had admired the work that Nelson has done. So this man had changed the music, the trajectory of how of how the music would be played. It can be played at residential areas or whatever you can probably play at. That's that's cool. You guys want to listen to the guys that did it? Like, I mean, you already heard. See, Gary Scheider. Gary Scheider, rest in peace. So he he's like a Jersey dude. I'm about to do a live show based on him. Let me get this off here. Yep. Real soon, I'm going to go do a live show based on a man who was like a musician and a guitarist, the Diaper Man, Gary Marshall Scheider. But go to a live show based on him because I know he's a guy who comes from Jersey. You know what I'm saying? He's from Jersey. Cordell Cordell Masoon. He's from Jersey too, by the way. That's the gospel that that Gary would learn from the likes of Joey Caesar, likes of guys like it's like some people that done the gospel for years, like Shirley Williams, also known as hold on. See, Gary Scheider has been in the game so since you know he's been like doing this for years. So I mean that man used to be like I mean everybody knows him and his dad. I mean he was under the guidance of his family, especially his dad and his brothers. See him and see Gary, see him and his brothers. They learned to sing. You know He's got. I mean, he learned to sing some songs while you know behind some OG gospel artists that he had learned to he learned from was the likes of Shirley Williams, who's also known as Shirley Caesar. You have the five blind boys of Mississippi, and then you have the mighty clouds of joy. These are people that Gary would learn that Gary would learn the gospel from. So, but these guys, man, him and a bunch of guys, they did the work. They like to perform. So the work that these guys have done, they hit the door, man. They not they're not going you know into anything else. These guys wanted to get the singing. Scheider, Masoon, Masoon, Scheider, and Nelson were like these three guys like friends. They were all friends at the time, back when they were all teenagers. So everybody was mentioning about their friendship. Here it is right there. I don't want to air the dirty laundry that I had to go put out. So they started doing the work because of who Gary Scheider is. But well, probably soon I'm going to do a live show based on Gary Scheider's legacy here. And this is what we're doing. And go do it soon. I'm going to do that real soon. But we gotta take our time to dedicate this live show. It's gonna be the last time I get to do this since my little screw up from the last live show that I did. This live show is in dedication into the memory of our beloved bass guitar player and songwriter for the Parliaments and Funkadelic, William Billy Bass Nelson Jr. Born on January the 28th, 1951, and died on January the 31st, 2026. Rest in peace, William Nelson Jr., also known professionally as Billy Bass. And the music world respects you, and they all salute you. You will be missed, and you may be gone, but you may never, ever, ever be forgotten. The Almighty Father God has you now.